and welcome to GeekGirlCon's month of environmentalism. And today we're celebrating it by talking about all things indoor plants while we paint some flower pots. I'm Jannae, pronouns she, her. I'm part of the Twitch team here at GeekGirlCon, and I have Julie and Prime with me. And why don't you guys introduce yourselves and also share your favorite tree?
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Prime.
Okay. Hi, I'm Prime. I'm also part of the Twitch team, she, her pronouns, and I would say my favorite tree. And it's like a toss up because I really love weeping willows. I think they're just really
Oh,
pretty. But if I had to choose anything, uh, like big oak trees kind of give me that sense of home. Because I grew up in uh, both Southern California and in like the Bay Area, and the Bay Area has these like big rolling green fields with these like speckling of huge oak trees, and it just feels like home.
nice. I love oak trees.
Right?
Me too.
Yeah,
Oak trees are awesome.
yeah, yeah. Julie.
Yeah. Hi, I am Julie and I use she, her pronouns, and I think my favorite tree is a California redwood because that's where my husband and I went on our honeymoon and we wanted to pick some place that wasn't like too far away. And I was expecting to like go there and see all the big trees and be like, oh, that's a lovely tree. This is so pleasant. I am peaceful and one with nature. And instead, I walked around for like 3 days pointing and screaming, oh my God, tree at the top of my lungs because they were so big. I'd never seen anything like it.
Did you
Like,
drive through the giant one?
I did not because it cost $10 and I didn't want to pay $10 to drive through a tree. We actually stopped right outside and I was like, it's $10. And we agreed that if it had $5, that's what we'd pay to drive through a tree, but not 10.
Oh, yeah.
Fair, fair. We were
Yeah.
just in the redwood forest, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "Is this the forest moon of Endor?" And sure
It
enough,
really feels like it.
that's where they
Was
filmed
it?
it. Yeah.
Oh,
We
wow.
we did a hike where they made Jurassic Park 2.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Super fun.
Janae, what's your favorite tree?
Man, I was also gonna say redwoods, but I think I'm gonna go with Douglas fir just because it's like the classic Christmas tree, and I love Christmas. But I think, okay, cherry blossom trees also spectacular
They're
and
good.
so beautiful. There's just so many trees to pick from,
It's true.
and
And I'm allergic to all of them.
oh no,
no.
Yeah, I'm allergic to like every tree.
how did you discover that?
I started using the internet to track when my allergies were going off, and I noticed that every time the internet was like, a tree is blooming, I felt awful.
Oh,
So I was like,
no,
oh,
and
look at
you're like,
all the trees. And then during the wildfire smoke, I was like deeply unhappy.
oh.
Did you grow up in this area, or was it like an introduction and then you're like, huh, I feel crappy seasonally?
I'm from Louisiana, where it's like, I don't know if it's we have different trees or it's like because the weather, like not the weather, it's so humid, the pollen like doesn't get up in the air as much. But like I didn't have allergies like this until I moved up here.
Okay.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
sad. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, Julie. And you're going to talk through like how to care for indoor plants and how to propagate them and how to recover plants that you are actively murdering. Yeah. Yeah. And Prime and I are going to be painting flower pots. I got this paint a pot set from Target, which came with this little pot, some little acrylic paints, and some stencils. Got like a
Oh,
Monstera leaf. You've got like all these stencils. I think it's like a little gnome too.
cute.
Yeah, super cute, and some flowers. Ooh, oh, and another leaf. And then
Stencils,
I
that's a
also
good idea.
the bullseye section also had this hanging planter kit.
What?
So I might try that if the painting goes terribly. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I was inspired by Emerald's rock painting tutorial. She used these
Oh,
like acrylic paint pens, so I bought a bunch of these.
yeah.
We're gonna try them out, see how it works. I did a little test tea in there, and it seems like it works. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. Julie, so tell us about your plants and how you got into indoor plants. Like, was this
Um,
like a quarantine thing? Because like I know a
Mm.
lot of people like got into indoor plants since
uh,
COVID.
actually, I kind of grew up like in the South and we moved around a lot. And so I always wanted a plant, but I couldn't ever like really have one because we moved so often.
Oh.
And so when I was in fourth grade, I grew a set of impatiens, which are like really pretty flower in a pot. And
Oh,
I kept their annuals, so they die every year and then you replace them.
okay, okay.
And impatiens usually die around like late October, and mine were still alive in like early December because I had been so determined to take such good care of it.
Wow.
Um, and so I kind of had plants here and there, but I'd never really like lived in one place long enough to accumulate like a lot of plants
Mhm.
until I lived in this house. We've been here since before quarantine, and I
Mm.
didn't really accumulate a lot of plants during quarantine, but lots of other people did.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then quarantine, people started to go outside more and they got disinterested in their plants. And then suddenly I had many more plants.
Oh, you're like a plant rescue.
Yeah, like
I
a
was. I was
foster
like a
plant.
plant
Yeah.
rescue. People were like, I don't want this plant anymore. Do you want it?
Oh,
And I did. And now I have a bunch of plants. And
Nice.
um, I still have my first plant I have got as an adult is here with us today. And no, where's my most recent one? I think it's the olive tree. No, it's
oh.
the zerbit, the transcendentia. Anyway, yeah. What do y'all want to know about plants? Who wants to
What are
know what? I got a
what are
whole list.
what are the easiest plants for someone who has a brown thumb to take care of?
Yeah.
What
Well,
are the hardiest indoor plants? Because I'm very terrible at taking care of plants.
let's talk about why you would have a brown thumb. Because if I had to guess, when people tell me they have a brown thumb, I always tell them you are watering your plants too much because
Might be
we
my problem.
probably your problem.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That surprises me.
It's probably the most common houseplant problem. I tell people all the time, they're like, my plant is turning brown. And I'm like, is it crispy? And they say, no, it's like limp and brown. And I'm like, well, you're watering your plants too much.
Oh.
Um, all different plants have different watering needs, right? Because they all grow up
Mhm.
in different climates. And so, really, the idea is to match your watering to the plant. And the best way to do that is to look up on the internet how dry your soil should be. I would say probably the easiest plant I have take care of is going to be the Transcendentia. That's this guy.
Oh, that's
I might
pretty.
have one of those.
Yeah, they're a growing vine. They crawl along the ground. And so they're really not supposed to hang like this. He's actually going to get cut really soon. And a good thing to do with this one is to propagate it. The way you do is you cut just below the node and then just stick it back in the pot and then it'll grow roots.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's really, really easy. I definitely recommend this one for beginners. Another one that I like for beginners, a lot of people have luck with pothos. I don't.
Oh.
I don't like them. I don't even let them in the house anymore because I've like not gotten along with any of the ones I've ever had.
That's
Um,
fair.
Mhm.
which is another brown thumb thing. People try to make their lot. People bring in plants, and you want to love the plant and you want to care for the plant, but the plant, you don't build your life around the plant. The plant has to fit into your life.
Mm.
Oh.
Yes. So I water plants on Sundays.
Oh, that's it, just once a week?
Once a week. I don't even water them every week. I check plants every Sunday to see if they need to be watered because that's a good habit for me. It's an easy habit for me to keep up. If you are a plant and you need water on a day that's not a Sunday, you have to go live in someone else's house because I water plants on Sundays.
Okay, interesting. And is
So if
that
you
all
need
year
water,
round?
all year round, I water, of course, more during the summer because it's warmer and the plants lose moisture easier.
Mm.
I also only fertilize in the summer. You should really only be fertilizing during the growing season, which is different for different plants. So check that on the internet. For example, I've got this one right here is Hathoria. His name is Spike. Can you see him? Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a summer growing succulent. He's also someone that a friend of mine gave me a plant because someone gave her a plant and she hates plants. And so she was like, "Do you want this plant?" And I was like, "Yes, this is actually on my list of plants I want because I have a list." So he gets watered a lot more during the summer because he grows during the summer and he gets fertilized during the summer. And then compared to Marilyn, who is my string of pearls.
Ooh.
Beautiful. I
Isn't she
love the
gorgeous?
pot.
Yeah.
I found Costco was selling these succulent arrangements on my birthday one year. And I walked past it, and a string of this plant, a string of one of the strands of pearls, probably about, I would say, about this long, like that had fallen on the ground. And so I took it home and I stuck it in some dirt. And she grew like crazy. She's a string of pearls. She's also a succulent. And she grows during the winter. She's a winter growing succulent. So she doesn't get fertilized during winter. She gets fertilized, or during the summer, she gets fertilized during the winter. Never mix summer and winter growing succulents in a pot together. Learned that one the hard way.
Oh.
Oh
That was
no.
how I murdered Brutus the Unkillable.
Oh, he did not live up to his name.
But I propagated Brutus the Unkillable, so now I have Brutus the Unkillable the third.
Nice.
Oh, wait, what happened to the second?
Oh, good.
Was there no the second? Uh-oh.
So the Brutus I killed, that was Brutus the Unkillable the second, was actually Brutus the Unkillable the second. Brutus the Unkillable the first was a succulent that one of Mikey's roommates had left in their kitchen window. And I just like, I don't get involved in other people's plants.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I keep my plant opinions to myself. I never like tell people about their plants. And I slowly watched Brutus die.
Aw.
And then one day I was just like, I can't watch Brutus die anymore. So I took Brutus home. I was like, this is mine now. Coming with me. And he lived a little while longer, but then eventually he just was like, nope, I have been too neglected during my life.
Aw.
Oh. But he
Brutus
does
being so-
kind of live on.
Yeah.
He does.
Okay.
He does. He got propagated into 3 different plants, and then one of them I gave away, and one I put in with a winter growing succulent. Don't do that. And then the third one, nope, there was only 2. One I gave away, one I put with the succulent. That one grew for a little bit, and then it died, but then I propagated it, and now I've got Brutus the third.
Brutus lives on. I'm so glad he's still like kind of unkillable.
Yeah.
I know, I'm so glad I have Brutus. He's colloquially known as a Mexican firecracker, but he's part of the Echeveria succulent family.
Okay.
He's very pretty.
I'm having the most difficult time with this stencil, actually. So I haven't
get it on there.
Yeah, I haven't like painted anything. Everything is just stuck to me now. So having a grand time.
Yeah. So what you want to do is just before you water, check your soil. Look on the internet. The internet's got there's a couple of good websites I can recommend that's got just how wet should your soil be. Usually you want to get your finger in your dirt up to that second knuckle right there. So you got to get it like way in there.
Oh, wow.
And always check your moisture level, like how wet your dirt is before you water, or else you will end up like me and murder your jade.
No.
Yes.
Oh no.
That's going to be okay.
I tried getting one of those moisture meter things. I don't think it is very accurate. It always says my soil is dry, even after I water it. So
Oh, yeah, that's not helpful.
I'll just have to go by touch. Can't rely on these fancy tools.
Yeah. Got to stick your fingers in. This is Frank. He's a spider plant. He grows like madness. And it's like whenever you want to water it, you like I'm just gonna keep going until my finger's like down in there. Although with him, he's root bound again.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, gotta get your finger like in there.
Okay.
And he needs to be watered, but he'll be watered on Sunday.
Yeah. Is it easy to propagate spider plants?
It is. They are self-propagating. So what they do is they grow, and then when they are super happy in their container and their roots are kind of squished in there, but not like so root bound they can't grow anymore, they send out these little tendrils, and then at the end of the tendrils, little baby spider plants will grow.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and then you just take the little baby spider plants and you stick them in water for a week, and roots grow, and then you've got a little spider plant and you stick it in dirt.
Okay.
That's super easy.
Yeah. Is that how you propagate most things, where you just take a little piece, put it in water, wait for roots to grow, and then put it in soil?
It depends. Succulents you never stick in water. Succulents you either lay them on soil or on, I've got a lot of plant tools here. There are these like river pebbles you can buy from the store. They're super cheap. I definitely recommend anyone who's into houseplants, even if you don't think you're going to need them, get them, because you never know. And your Frank was a plum tree. I have a little olive tree here that is not named, but somebody gave it to me for my wedding and was like, this is going to represent your love. You should grow it forever. And I was like, don't tell me that. I'm going to kill it in like a week. Still here.
Nice.
Oh, hooray.
Yeah.
Your love
Still
tree.
here. I was like, I don't know how to grow a tree. So yeah, succulents, you either lay out the the leaves on dirt, and then you water them and eventually they'll root, but you don't want to stick them in water. Or you can take a little plate and put pebbles on the plate and then lay out the leaves on the plate, and then put water, pour water to where it comes up to where it just barely touches the tip of the leaf.
Okay.
And that will cause your succulent leaves to root.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's where I went wrong. I definitely put stuff in water for succulent. Was unsuccessful. And now I know why.
In water. This guy, you cut it and you stick it in water.
Okay. I think I do have one of those. So I'm going to try that.
Do Do you have any tricks? So one of my plants, I bought like a medley of plants from Molbach's, and one by one, the various plants started to die, but one remains. And I want to learn how to take care of it better because it's, stuck around. And I cannot for the life of me remember what plant it is. Is there a cool trick to figuring it out?
There are a couple of apps you can use.
Okay.
Although one app super misidentified my dragon tree
Oh.
and told me it was a decorative grass, so I watered it like a decorative grass instead of a Dracaena. And then he ended up looking terrible. And then I figured out he was a Dracaena, so I started growing him like a Dracaena, so he became big and beautiful. And so I named him Zuko because he went through a lot.
Aww,
A lot of character
that.
development.
Yeah.
Now he's better.
Actually, I
So
think I
you
have
can
one
use
of
the
those.
apps, but the apps are sometimes wrong. I
Okay.
honestly get on Google and I'm just like, I will describe the leaf shape, the
Oh.
coloring, like what it looks like, and just start looking for images that match it.
Okay.
Although if you showed it to me now, I might be able to spot it and tell you what it is,
Let
because
me see.
sometimes I know.
Oh, here.
You'll
have to look on stream because I'm like 5 seconds behind, but here, let me grab it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I think it's a pretty common plant. Like, here's the leaves. They're like striped. They've got light green on the outside, dark in the middle, and then like a white stripe. I don't know. Is that really showing up?
Oh, I know. I can't remember what the name of that is. Yeah.
It's looking a little scraggly, but it's like starting to get better up here. So I was like, I should take better care of this one.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, you see the brown tips
Yes.
on it. So that looks like it might be getting too little water. It's looking kind of crispy.
It is pretty crispy. Yep, you could probably hear that. Like do some plant ASMR.
Yeah. Yeah, I would start checking and see how moist your soil is between, but he looks pretty crispy.
Okay. Yeah. I am definitely, I don't think I'm in the group of people who water too often. I definitely fall under the water too little, which is why I like my peace lily, because my peace lily like is super dramatic, right? As soon as it gets thirsty, it like droops like crazy, and then you just gotta give it a little bit of water.
That's helpful though.
It's
Because they
so
can't talk
helpful.
to you, so.
That's the one plant that I've actually been able to keep like pretty successful. It's the only one I've named.
Wait, what's its name?
So since it's
You already said it.
since it's a peace lily, I call it Lily Potter.
Oh, that's cute. I name all my plants. I also name my car. I name things I have to take care of.
I mean, I bet that's a good method for actually taking care of those things.
It is. And also, whenever I have to spend $4,000 getting my car fixed, I don't whine about it too much. Another important part about taking care of plants that I feel like people miss is pot size.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You don't want your pot to be too big or too small.
Oh, okay. Too big matters.
Too big is really important. Too big can actually mess up your watering, like kind of a lot. Because when something is too big, you can't control your moisture level in it because it'll just go down to the bottom. So you've got to really you want to have your plants be in an appropriately sized pot. And whenever you put your plant in a bigger pot, you don't want to go from like a pot like this size to a pot that's like this size. You want to step up a half inch every time.
Oh, that's great to know. I had no idea.
You want your roots to have enough room to keep growing, but not have a ton of space. So I'm actually going to change this. This plant right here, the way succulents grow is they send down really, really deep, deep roots. But I also, when I first got this plant, he was a lot smaller. Very small. And so I wanted to make the pot the right size because this was the pot I have. So what I did was I put a bunch of river pebbles. I keep saying petals. Put a bunch of river pebbles in the bottom. And what that did was made it smaller this way. But this year, I think he's gotten big enough to where I'll take some of that out and give him a little bit more room.
Interesting.
Oh, when do you know when it's time to increase their pot size?
Usually, so whenever a plant starts to, so like there's two types of going brown, right? There's going brown and crispy, where it's like crispy, it's like kind of crunchy. And then there's like whenever it goes brown and limp, like like this guy right here. You see how he's like limp and brown, as opposed to Alyssa's earlier where he was kind of like crunchy. Limp and brown typically means one of two things. It can also mean a fungus, but like not often. You're not often going to see plants get fungus. It either means you are watering them too much or they've outgrown their pot. And with him, he grows so quick that I am constantly, I refuse to give him a bigger pot. I'm like, this is the amount of space in my life my spider plant is going to take up. So when he gets root bound, it's called root bound because the roots are actually like, when you pull them out, they're just the shape of the pot. They have nowhere to go. And you want your roots to be kind of like loose and like, so since this is the size of the plant, because I'm not going to give more space in my house to spider plant. I pull him out, and if he's grown another little plant, I'll usually divide him and give some of him away. And if he hasn't grown another little plant, which it doesn't look like he's grown another stalk, I'll just cut off about half his roots.
Oh, wow.
With my garden shears, I'll just pull him out, soak him in water for a few minutes till his roots get nice and loosey, and then I'll just like and stick him back in dirt.
Oh, okay.
And he grows happy again. Don't be afraid to cut off your plant's roots.
I am afraid. I always think I'm gonna kill it.
Right? I'm like afraid to do anything with I haven't repotted any of my plants because I'm like, I'm pretty sure if I do this, they'll all die. I don't know how, but I will have killed them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you keep a fern alive, fractal rainbow. Ugh.
Ferns are so tough.
I hate ferns. Tell me your secrets. Tell me your I keep ferns alive secrets.
So I heard you said you had a dragon plant, right?
I do. I'll go get him.
Yeah, I have one too, and it's looking really bad, so I need your help.
Okay. I'll go get my baby Zuko and everyone.
Okay.
I'm excited for baby Zuko.
Me too.
How's your pot painting going? Because I barely got my one stencil on.
I had to take my headphones out so I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I was wondering how your pot painting is going.
Oh, it's going pretty good. Here, I'll show you where I'm at.
What design are you going for?
I'm trying to do like a cactus scene.
Ooh.
It's looking okay. Some things are not as good as others, but it's getting there. How's yours going?
I just laid down one stencil, so that's how that's going.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So this is mine. I have one little guy that looks great, and then these two little, I don't know what to call them, that are looking very sad. So this whole plant to me looks like it's dead under here.
Yeah, one looks great.
Yeah. And so what happened basically was over Christmas, this got left in
Mhm.
kind of a cold room and I forgot about it entirely. And so when I came back, these were looking really sad and they've just been getting worse and worse. And I'm wondering, should I just pull these out at this point?
Yeah, I would pull them out. So when leaves go brown, they're not coming back.
Okay. So, but
Like,
should I just pull the leaves off or just the whole stem thingy? I don't know if you can see that because it's like.
I'm thinking, I think you should just pull them out because the way Dracaena propagates is you basically like cut off the top and then put the top in um dirt,
Oh.
and then the top grows roots.
Okay.
And so if your top is dead, I think that means the plant's dead.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. I'll just pull those out and focus on keeping the one remaining alive.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So
let's see yours, Julie.
Yeah.
go. Here, I'll zip up my hoodie so y'all can see him a little bit better with my hoodie as background. This is my Zuko. He did not like living in plastic. He did not care for a cash pot at all. And
Oh,
so he got put into porcelain because he was not happy in plastic.
Interesting.
He's very crabby about it.
I didn't know that like the material of the pot also kind of like played into how much they thrive.
Right?
It can. It depends. Plastic holds moisture better. And so some plants really like having kind of wet soil, and others are like basically don't like getting their feet wet. They don't like having wet roots all the time. That's what causes root rot.
Mm.
And so yeah, it depends on the plant. I usually don't put succulents in plastic, although I have my jades that I'm trying to bring back in plastic just because I didn't have enough terracotta for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Mm.
what do you living in the Pacific Northwest? It does not get very warm. So what do you do when like you get like a tropical plant or a plant that needs like a lot of like warmer temperatures and humidity? How do you deal with that? Just don't.
Mostly. No, there's a couple things you can do. Plants like ferns that need a lot of humidity, you can either actually get a humidifier. I've got some friends who have humidifiers for their tropical plants. Most of these are tropical. Most of these are tropical. So the Transcendenia, I actually found some once upon a time growing on the ground in Hawaii, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Transcendenia. They're just a ground plant. This one's tropical. Chinese evergreen is tropical. My Dieffenbachia is tropical, and so is the Dracaena. And I think spider plant is, although I don't know what you are. Although I love you, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
We love baby Frank. During the winter, I always keep my house at 65 degrees, just because number one, I'm cold.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's cold.
Yeah.
I get cold. So I always keep it a minimum of 65 degrees because 65 is kind of the low end for tropical plants.
Okay.
Some people I know actually get grow lights for them because it's not even really the temperature, it's the amount of light. Again, my philosophy for plants is you fit into my life. Because it's like, if you think about it, like plants grow in like the naturally occurring climate where they're happiest, and like same with my house.
Yeah.
Like, we should all grow together in a climate where we're happy. And if you're not happy in my climate, get out of my house.
Yeah.
Leave.
How do you take care of your indoor plants when you're gone for an extended period of time? Like if you go on vacation.
It depends. So if I'm going on vacation, I usually start planning that watering cycle to where I can water the day before I leave. That's whenever I adjust my Sunday cycle. I'll let things go longer without water to try and get it to match up, like whatever is the day before I leave. And then day before I leave, when I'm going on vacation, I will often just what we call butt chug all my plants.
Wait, you're gonna have to explain that.
Yeah.
I will. It's also known as bottom watering. It's where instead of pouring water over the top of your plant, you get a bucket and you fill it with water and you stick the plant in the water, and then the water goes up from the bottom and waters the plant from the bottom.
Oh.
It's called bottom watering or butt chugging. Actually, I only ever bottom water my string of pearls because if you get the pearls wet, they'll kind of like shrivel and get like gross.
Oh.
So I do that to keep that when Frank always gets bottom watered because he's so thirsty. So does JT, the Chinese evergreen, and the I was always bottom watering the olive tree, but you probably can't see it on stream. She's got, you see the white stuff right there?
Mm-hmm. What
That's
does that mean?
powdery mildew, which doesn't really mean anything bad. It just means my soil is staying too wet for too long, so I'll probably start top watering this one.
Oh, I do get some of that sometimes on mine. I thought it was bad.
It's not going to hurt your plant. It's just ugly and kind of gross. I'm like, I don't want it in my house. Also smells weird.
Oh, I haven't smelled it. Ugh. Did you say there are certain plants that are better off being top watered versus bottom watered?
I'm trying to figure that out right now. So this is my beautiful. Actually, I'm doing an experiment. Tori would be so proud. This is Mulan, and she is dying because I killed her. And when I got her, she's a succulent, a crassula, and also known as a jade plant. And when I got her, there were 4 stalks in one pot, and that's how she lived for forever. But then over kind of like, you should look at your plants every day or every couple of days just to make sure there's nothing funky going on. And she was growing and she was beautiful and I was so happy. And then I looked over started watching her for like a week and she just kind of started to go limp and brown.
No.
I know. So I pulled her out of her pot and the roots were rotted, which if you ever are trying to diagnose a plant problem, the first thing I would do is pull it out and look at its roots. Healthy roots are white and pliant and pretty, and dead roots are brown or black and crunchy.
Oh.
Or they're soft and mushy. Like, healthy roots are white and firm and pliant. Unhealthy roots are either like crunchy or mushy. So I pulled her stalks out and she had a ton of root rot.
No.
Yeah, so I had to cut all it off. Whenever you have a plant with root rot, like just cut all the root rot off. Stuck it back in. I put it in each stalk is now in its own little container. And 2 of them I'm top watering and 2 of them I'm bottom watering to see which one she likes better. And then that will be what I do going forward. But yeah, the way I did it was I just kind of started bottom watering and then seeing who grew better. So like my Chinese evergreen, this is JT, named for Justin Timberlake.
The only JT I would
Yeah,
have
JT.
associated,
Yeah.
with those initials.
I was
I don't
thinking
know
like
anyone else with
JTT.
initials JT.
I was
Who could it
thinking
be?
JTT for some reason. Like I thought it was like a
Oh.
90s throwback for a sec, but that makes way more sense.
No, it's Justin
JT's,
Timberlake.
yeah.
He really likes being bottom watered.
Mm.
So it's good to just like kind of figure it out. I don't know. If you kill a plant, get another plant.
Yeah.
Do you kind of, I know you talked about being a kind of plant rescue, but is there trusted places that you purchase plants?
I only buy plants from Swanson's.
Swanson's.
Oh.
What's that?
It's just a nursery near me.
Okay.
I get a lot of plants for free off the internet.
Oh.
What?
But if I'm gonna buy a plant, I usually buy it from Swanson's, and that's because they have a pretty good return policy where if you take it home and find it pests, they will take it back.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is nice.
Yes. Anytime you buy a plant or get a plant or bring a new plant into your house, you should quarantine it for 30 days.
30 days?
Really?
30 days. It needs to be 6 feet away from every other plant in your house for 30 days.
Oh.
And you should look at it every couple of days, lift up the leaves, check it out. Because very common in nursery plants are 2 plant pests, and they're both annoying. One of them is called scale, which is like these little insects that are like underneath the leaves. And the other one, and this is the one where it's like when I find out people have it, I'm like, just set the plant on fire and throw it away. Like, do not keep it in your house. Is spider mites.
Oh.
Oh, that sounds bad.
It's bad. They're like little bitty spiders.
Ooh.
And they feed off your plant by like biting into it and sucking all the goodness out. And they also build little webs over your plant. So if you ever see like spiders on your plant, or if you ever look and your plant has got like spider web on it, just set it on fire. Like, don't just set it on fire. Like, douse it in gasoline. Don't keep it. Get it out of your house.
I think I've
And
seen
that's
that
commonly
before.
in nursery plants, or can any plant?
It's like any plant, but because they can spread so easily, and whenever they're growing near each other in nurseries, they can just go from one to the other. Like, it's pretty common.
No.
Which is why I buy from Swanson's, because they will take plants back.
That's a good tip. I never thought about looking for pests.
Mm-hmm. If you do get pests, you've got some options. I like this one. It's a garden insect killer. I've had thrips a couple of times because I was moving around a lot with several of my plants at one point, and so like a few of them had to stay outside overnight. I ended up with thrips, and so I got this garden insect killer, and there's also neem oil, which is like an oil you can put on your plants that will get pests off. This garden killer, insect killer, and another one that I really like, which is called a systemic, which you put it in water and then you water your plant with it, and then the roots suck up the poison. And not only is it like a fertilizer for your plant, it also makes the plant deadly to insects. So whenever they try to eat the plant, they die.
Aha.
These two this and that should never be put on plants that are going to be outside or plants that are going to be eaten, because they'll kill bees.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
And also you if you eat them.
the bees. And you.
But most importantly, the bees.
The bees.
Yeah.
Save the bees.
Bees. So be careful whenever you are using a pesticide. Definitely read it. Look up the main active ingredient on the internet. If you're keeping a plant in your house, you've got a lot more options. But if you're having a plant outside, make sure whatever you're using is bee safe, because not everything is.
Okay.
That's also something I never would have thought to, consider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be considerate, everyone. Aha.
Yeah. I love systemics because then you don't even have to think about it. You just fertilize your plant and your plant grows beautiful on the inside. So yeah.
So what started the rivalry or the feud between you and Pothos?
They just die. Okay, so here's the thing that kills me. I have tons of difficult to grow plants from any part of the rainforest and jungle in my house. Tropical plants. This one right here, string of pearls. Everyone on the internet talks about how difficult it is to grow. And this has been the easiest thing I've ever grown in my life, right? I literally found it at Costco, stuck it in there. I try to get a pothos, which everyone says is it's the easiest of the plants. And then it dies. I get a mint. I build myself a little mint container. And everyone's like, mint is the garden devil. It will take over anything. Can't grow mint to save my life.
Oh, how funny.
Dies. So, yeah, I had a few people give me different pothos at different times. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to grow this pothos. Gonna have a new plant. And then 3 weeks later, it's on its way out. And I'm just giving it away on Buy Nothing. Get this plant out of my house.
It's me with basil. I can never.
Basil's
I can't do basil. Every time I go to Trader Joe's, I'm like, today's the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's this time. I can do it. And then
you bring it home and it's just
yeah, I take it out of the little plastic thing and then it just goes whoop. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple divas in the plant world, and basil seems like it's one of them. It's oh, you put me too close to a window, dead.
Yeah.
I need more water. Oh, I need less water. No, now I'm thirsty.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't do basil. Do you grow do you grow herbs at all?
Not right now. I was growing catnip for my cat, but we had to put him to sleep 3 weeks ago, so I don't have catnip anymore.
Oh.
I know. But maybe someday I'll grow food for humans, but I don't know, I've never really, like I said, I have moved around so much that I've tried to have herb gardens or little vegetable gardens places, and it's I never have enough space, or I'm never in a place for long enough, or then it was pandemic and I was trying to graduate from grad school and I was I don't have time to try and change what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm busy. So, yeah.
What are some good low light plants? Because I mean, Pacific Northwest not super sunny a lot of the year.
I like my Diffenbachia. This is Scotty. He's named for Scott Summers. He's my first ever plant I got as a grown-up. He looks very small because I almost murdered him during grad school, but then I propagated him. So we're still in the post-grad school coming back to life stage. they don't need a whole lot of light. He does just fine with. In fact, I keep him on top of my bookshelf near the skylight, and he's actually getting a little bit too much light, and you can tell because he's got that white spot in his leaf. And in Dieffenbachia, whenever they get white spots, it means that they are getting so much sun they can't convert it to energy anymore because it's just like too much. So they go white, so that way photosynthesis doesn't occur.
Interesting.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And then another good low light one is the Chinese evergreen. He doesn't need a whole lot of light.
I'm gonna get one of those.
They're fun. They do this fun thing where their leaves like grow up super tall and then they like unfurl.
Ooh.
It's so fun.
What are some good plants if you have pets?
That's kind of hard. I actually once had to call poison control because my cat would ignore everything. All my plants, he would just ignore. I could have them out. He'd be like, whatever, I don't care. Except for the Dieffenbachia, which was the poison plant.
Oh, no! It's like he knew.
Yeah, he knew. He was just like, I know I'm not supposed to have that one. I'm gonna eat it. Yeah. So that was the Dieffenbachia, my beloved Scotty. And so don't get Dieffenbachia if you have pets. Spider plants, I think, are pretty good. Jade, I don't think is toxic to cats. I don't know about. I only really know toxic to cats. Succulents typically aren't toxic to cats. So like your jade, your Halthoria, Echeveria, just succulents tend to not be. I think pothos are fine, and no lilies. Do not even like lily pollen is so toxic to cats that if they breathe it in, some of them can have a reaction.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
So definitely avoid, if you have cats, 100% avoid lilies, Dieffenbachia. Oh, and Dracaena. Dracaena is also toxic to cats, and they love it. They're like, let me chew on the leaves.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
Cats are they can be such troublemakers. They're too smart for their own good.
I do agree the best plant for pets is a really tall shelf.
That's hilarious.
That is the truest. That is the truest. Dude, I want to take your mom's master class on begonias. I've never grown a begonia. I've never grown a flower. Others outside, since I've been like an adult, I grew flowers when I was in high school, but I want to grow. I'm excited about this.
I can't. Flowers are so hard for me to grow too. Like, oh no, do you have one of those Easter or Christmas? What are they called?
Cactus?
Yeah.
I do have a Christmas cactus. It's not doing so great right now, so it's under a grow light. But they don't really like it up here. Like
they don't.
In Louisiana, you can just like you stick it in a hanging thing and it's like, oh, and here it's like
yeah. Yeah. Like my mom is in LA and hers just kind of, grow and they look great. But mine here it's so tiny and I always think it's dead because it's kind of brown. It's still green. I'm like, I don't know. Are you still alive? I thought I did kill it, but it did flower this year, so I'm like, maybe it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, but
I've got mine hanging up downstairs. I got one of those like Amazon stick the light in the pot lights.
Oh.
For it.
Do you recommend?
I think it's okay. I think they look kind of silly. Gonna be honest, there's so much grow light technology out there that I have not yet done like the ADHD deep dive into it. I've read like 2 like how to have grow lights, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot think about light frequency right now. I just don't have that in me.
Yeah, I think I had a flower pot outside and then found out that you have to have like a specific color of grow light for flowers, and I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Flowers aren't for me.
Color and frequency are the 2 things you got. And I'm like, oh.
That's a little too much science for me.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm working in public health during a pandemic. I don't have time for this.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you get fruit flies with all of the plants or like the little gnats?
So I did. If you are getting gnats in your plants, it means your soil's too wet.
Oh, that's good to know.
They grow on top of the wet soil. I found it, so the way to get rid of them is to try and put the neem oil or whatever in the soil at regular intervals, so that way because like they go through you're trying to match the growth cycle to how you're killing them. That was annoying, and so I did a combination of like that and also water less, so there's less water, and apple cider vinegar.
Oh, like it just in a cup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I don't like gnats.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like them.
I got some of those like sticky trap thingies, but I think my main problem is just like I overwater. That's what I'm learning. Just
stick your fingers in them. I find that we overwater because we want to love our plants, but like the best way you can love your plant is to like look at it and talk to it.
Oh.
Double check it for pests.
I think I just project my own problems of being constantly dehydrated onto my plants. So I'm constantly watering them.
It's easy to do because you want to take care of them and you're like, oh, you must be thirsty. And the plant's like, no, I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely project my personality onto my plant.
I've also heard, I don't know if there's any like a truth or science behind this, is that you're supposed to like sway your plants, like rock them to like imitate wind and like their natural habitat. Do you do that?
I do it with my Dieffenbachia and my olive tree and my Dracaena. It is true. It helps. It's probably one of the 2 TikTok trends that I've seen on Plant Talk that are actually true. Please do not put pasta water in your plants, y'all. I know TikTok was like, put pasta water in your plants. Don't do that. Just don't do that.
What about rice water?
Your plants don't need food water. They don't need banana peels. Your plants need nitrogen and phosphorus and water and sunlight, and you can get all of that in regular plant food that won't attract flies to your plant.
Okay.
I hadn't heard the pasta water thing. That's interesting.
Oh God, it was like all over Plant Talk for water. They're like, only put unsalted plant pasta water, but if you only put unsalted pasta water, and if you pour pasta water in plants, the nutrients from the pasta and the carbohydrates make your plant grow better. And it's like your plant can't process that. Your plant gets it. It's like, I don't know what to do with these carbohydrates. What are you doing? I had a baby. Speaking of being careful about what you put in your plants, I had a baby Scotty that I straight up killed, just like 100%. I killed this plant because I would often put lemon in my water, and I don't want to waste water. And so sometimes whenever I'd like come back 2 days later and see that I still had like water, I would just use it to water plants. And then one day I forgot I still had lemon in the water, and I poured it in the plant, and the plant died.
No.
Oh no.
Oh man. I did not hear about the pasta water trick. I know you're supposed to like save your pasta water for your pasta sauce, but don't save it for your plants, is what I'm.
Yeah. You consume your pasta water. It's you food, not
Yeah.
plant.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like you would have to cook pasta like just for the sole purpose of giving it to your plants. Because who doesn't put salt in their pasta water?
That was
Yeah, that's
also,
true.
yeah, I was like, I like my pasta water to be salty like the sea.
Right?
Like,
That's what
Yeah.
that's what you always hear. It's supposed to be taste like the ocean or something.
mhm. Yeah, plant talk gets a little much. People were like, plants like potassium, grow your baby plants and bananas. And I was like, no,
What
plants
about
do like potassium, but don't do that. Eat the banana.
I think I saw someone try to grow something in like an empty avocado skin.
I mean, you
I mean,
could.
I don't know. I don't remember if there was like a purpose, like I don't know, there were like nutrients in the avocado skin, or if it was like they ran out of pots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are always trying to be like, if you do this, your plant will like the nutrients. And it's like, plants like dirt, guys. Like,
Yeah, they are simple beings.
yeah, plants like dirt. Just fertilize your dirt. I keep a mixed thing of fertilizer. I have my gallon of fertilizer that I keep. So that way I'm ready to fertilize my plants at a moment's notice. Like, that's what they like. They don't want bananas or
And salty
coffee.
pasta water.
Or if you're gonna do bananas and coffee grounds and all that, don't just like actually do the composting process. Plants like compost.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so no coffee grounds?
If you, I mean, I'm not unless you like actually go and compost them. Like, get one of them rolly compost bins and like compost. That's my dream. Is that one day I'm gonna buy a house and get one of the like spinny composting bins.
Okay, because I used to just like spoon my old coffee grounds into my plants.
I mean, you can. It's one thing to do with coffee grounds. It's not gonna like, it's not a hack. It's not gonna make your plants like super happy. They're just gonna be like, nice.
Okay. I thought it was some sort of magical hack and it was gonna make my plants grow so well. But I'm just like not observant enough to my plants to notice if they actually did well or not. Or if they were like just super caffeinated.
I mean, maybe they were super caffeinated. I have not put I drink coffee with chicory, and I'm not quite sure what chicory would do to plants. So, not ever tried it. But maybe it made them happy. But most plant hacks, I'm like, no, guys.
What's one of the more outrageous plant hacks that you've heard besides pasta water?
Pasta water.
Yeah, debunk some plant hacks.
What are some good ones I've heard? I think the ones that I see, and I'm like, that's not. There's this trend, you know, those like 5-minute crafts where it's like clickbait things that you click on YouTube and it shows you like a bunch of crafts in a row. They always do these plant ones where they're like, grow these tropical fruits in your home.
I would love to grow tropical fruits in my home.
I mean, wouldn't we all? Wouldn't that just be like the best thing ever? But like, it's not like humans aren't doing that because we've never had the idea, but like humans aren't doing that because like it does not work. Like you can have like a little lemon tree and you could probably grow like small, like little trees, maybe. yeah, of course it's going to end up with 5 minutes craft because they're just ridiculous all the time. Um, like 5 minute crafts is like the worst thing on the internet.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, but they'll be like, grow this avocado in your house. And it's like, yes, that will root and you'll get a little stem that pops up out of the seed. But like, no, dudes, the reason why we're not growing avocado trees in our house is because you can't grow an avocado tree in your house, not because we've never thought to maybe grow avocado trees in our house.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not growing pineapples in our house because like you would need to grow a pineapple in your house, you would need, I mean, it would have to be like this of dirt, like in your living room. And even then, I'm not sure you would get enough light in there. Yeah. Lots of plants in the Pacific Northwest that are easy to grow. Rosemary. Rosemary grows like a beast up here. Hen and chicks grows everywhere up here. There's a lot of ground cover, a lot of clover that looks really nice in your house that you can grow up here. This is one of the few parts of the United States that carnivorous plants grow naturally outside. And so if you have the time and the attention to grow a carnivorous plant, I can't remember the species off the top of my head because I don't have the time and attention because you really got to pay attention to how you feed it. But there are like 2 species of, I think there are species of flytrap that grow up here. We're one of 2 states. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a flytrap. We're one of 2 states where flytraps can be found growing in the wild. It's Washington and South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no. I figured those were like deep like jungle forest, like plants. I had no idea that we had them just wild.
Well, because they're different species of fly traps. I don't think we get the Venus up here, but there's one fly trap species we have.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's so awesome. If you go to the Locks Park, the Ballard Locks, they've got a whole setup right now of like natural growing Pacific Northwest carnivorous plants.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
It is. It's pretty cool.
I'm intrigued. Ooh, a lime tree. Sorry, I'm like reading chat.
Yeah.
Me too.
Carnivorous. Oh, ologies.
Garage. If she can get limes to grow on her lime tree up here, let me know. Citrus fruits, we have a lot of stone fruit up here, but I don't know if I know anyone who's successfully grown citrus.
The one person I knew who had a lemon tree, it was kind of like your thing where it was for her wedding. They like that was like their unity plant. It was outside, and then they're like, it's too cold outside, so they brought it inside, and then it immediately died.
Oh.
But they're still together, so that's good. Yeah, but the plant is dead.
Alyssa Lena wants to know how the painting is going, and so do I. I want to know how y'all's painting is happening.
Yeah. Okay. I've got some stencils. I finally got some stencils on.
Nice.
So I've got some leaves and some flowers. How's your cactus scene going?
I'm getting more and more proud of it as I go on. Like, my first cactuses were pretty meh, but then I've gotten a little bit better at the technique. So you can kind of see all the different... Some are based on real cactuses and some are completely made up. But yeah, that's my little scene. Almost there. Almost all the way around.
Yeah. Super pretty.
Oh, Lummi has a money tree. Is this a money tree? I can't remember. I heard it like called like a friendship plant or a money. I think a money tree because it looks like little coins. Is this the same one?
Those are Chinese money plants.
Oh.
Money trees are a little different. I also have one, and she is such a drama queen that I don't like to bring her out. They're also called a pilea.
Oh.
And I don't know what her problem is. But I love her, and one day she'll grow.
Oh, she's so
Or she'll get thrown
cute.
away. She knows what's good for her.
Yeah.
One time I went, I don't remember where I was, but it always kind of depresses me when I go somewhere where clearly people are way better at plants than I do. And I saw one of these plants that was like enormous. It was so big, I didn't even know they got that big. And I was like, dang, I have a lot to learn, a lot to strive for.
I mean, this one I've had for over 2 years now, and she just has not grown.
Oh, weird.
And I've decided not to take it personally, like I'm a bad plant mom. I've decided that she is the problem.
Yeah.
So dramatic.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
There's
I mean,
like
it was a completely different climate where I was at, so it's like it might just thrive better in other places.
Oh no, plants next to your water heater, a wall heater. Does the wall heater do a wet heat or a dry heat? Bulimia. It is okay if our money plants stay small. We're not going to kick them out the way we did the pothos.
Yeah.
She can still stay.
Yeah, it sounds like I have a lot of plants to pick up at the nursery the next time I am there.
Right?
I want some like big plants too. I want like big floor plants.
Same.
But
If you want one that'll get big, fiddle leaf fig trees.
ooh, okay, I'm writing this down.
Yeah.
They get real big, but they're one that you're going to have to pay very close attention to how damp it is in your apartment because they like really moist air, and we generally don't get enough moisture up here for them.
I've been starting to like just take a spray bottle to all of my plants, and then
So that's another myth is the spray bottles.
No.
Yes, I hate telling people this because spraying plants makes people so happy. It doesn't produce enough moisture in the air to stick around for a while. So what you can do if you have a plant that needs more moisture is, once again, river pebbles. These are so useful. And they're like $8.
Okay.
And put them in your little, like, you've got like your drip tray, right? Like you've got your drip tray right here.
Oh yeah.
Fill it with river pebbles and then pour water into it until they are just below the river pebble line, so that way your plant's not sitting in the water, because that's one of the things that can cause root rot. And then as the water evaporates, that's what keeps your plants nice and moist.
Oh.
Yeah, spraying just does it for like a second and then it dries up quickly. But like if you actually have a plant that needs more moisture, you can do that. Or is that your Monstera? If you need more moisture for your Monstera, what a friend of mine did was stick hers next to the dishwasher.
Oh, that's smart.
Okay.
Wait,
when the dishwasher is on, or just whenever?
Just whenever. It just now lives on top of the dishwasher and it grows. It's very happy because it's a nice, hot, humid environment.
Oh.
Yeah. Or you can do the other thing. But like you've got options.
Okay. We'll try the rocks option.
Yeah,
because I think
I never heard that before. Yeah. I'm definitely in the spray bottle club. If Sir didn't already rat me out in chat, I'm like spraying my little orchid like every day. No, it's not doing anything.
Other plant myth. Please don't put ice water on your orchids or ice cubes on your orchids. Yeah. They don't like the temperature change. It's upsetting for them. The whole point of putting ice is to make sure that you're not getting water on the leaves because they don't like it when they get water on their leaves. So I always just I literally stick mine under the faucet in the sink and tilt it and then just go for 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes, 30 seconds, but just let it get good and wet there.
Okay.
Oh. Man, debunking myths left and right.
Right?
You kill a lot of plants, you learn.
Yeah.
Oh, plant murderer. How you learn is by trying, and I tried a bunch of things, and then I was like, plant's still dying, and then I would spend 3 hours on the internet being like, this plant is dying? Reddit, do you know why?
Yeah.
If you are looking for plant websites, Epic Gardening is the best. He's also got a YouTube channel. He's so good. And the other one I can't remember. It's these 3 sisters living in India who are just their channel is half comedy, half plants. It's you can tell it's supposed to be about plants, but they're just very funny. And I'd have to find of it.
So there's a couple of questions.
Watch them all the time just because they're very funny.
I think scientifically you remember more if it's associated with humor. I think they've done studies where if you can make facts funny, you'll remember them longer.
Oh.
But yeah.
I learned a lot from these 3 women. They have this one gag that they did in their how to take care of ferns video where they were just how to take care of ferns, don't do this. And then they just cut a frond off their fern. Very funny.
So there's a couple of questions in chat about, I think, cut flowers. So Latina Geek is asking, is it true if you put ibuprofen in your vase, it will help your flowers stay fresher longer? And then Alyssa Lena says that she puts pennies in a tulip vase.
I have heard the penny trick.
Oh.
And I will never stop, even though I don't think it does anything. I would just like to put a shout out there for doing things that make you happy, even if they don't work.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not hurting the plant too, then.
I have no idea.
Sugar. They put sugar in
I don't know anything about cut flowers because flowers make me sad, so I never buy them. So I don't know.
Fair. Oh, they're lucky pennies. I thought maybe it had to do with the copper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I thought they had to do with the copper too.
That's what I was thinking. See? Do things that make you feel good.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be like, oh, don't do that thing. If you, and even I've had people who were tell me things that they're doing that make them happy that actively are killing their plants. And I'm like, as long as you're okay buying new plants, live your life.
Right?
You only got the one of them. I don't think pennies are made of copper anymore either. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a good point.
I think we should take a page out of Canada's book and stop making pennies. I'm anti-penny.
I am of the opinion that we should get rid of change entirely.
I agree with that. Yeah. Because I'm what am I supposed to do with? I don't know, 27 cents.
Right?
I don't know.
I would be down for if we kept quarters, but also made dollar coins because I really like dollar coins.
The dollar coins are pretty cool looking, I will say.
Yeah, I do like dollar coins. Yeah, although when I go overseas where there's they're very much more cash friendly, I guess. It's so hard for me, I guess, when I'm pulling out all of the coins. I'm I don't know what the denomination.
I know.
I just just please help. Please.
Although I will say it does feel pretty cool to be I don't know, it feels very old timey. Let me pay with all coins.
Let me get out my coin purse.
Exactly. The nice satisfying chink. So nice.
Also, just like there's nothing that compares to like putting quarters in like a pinball or like a Area 50
Yeah.
machine. Like that is an experience.
That's true.
Hi, puppy. Okay, sorry, okay. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay.
I've been admiring your snake plant, Janae. That's my next on my list. I'm getting a
Oh, I
Looks
think
really
I
cool.
might have gotten it from Swanson's.
Oh.
I did not check for pests, but I'm
well, everything seems to have worked out.
yeah, I like this one because I've heard it's like pretty hardy and like it doesn't
Mhm.
need a whole lot of water, which is good because it's in the guest bathroom and I often forget that it's there.
Mm.
Yeah. See, that works out. It's
Hmm.
fitting your environment.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And I can't tell if it's actually grown since I've gotten it. I know it is lost leaves because they went floop.
Oh no.
I know.
It's
Like,
like a good healthy green.
you know, it's it is nice. It's a good one. The
Hmm.
bamboo, also the longest plant I've ever had
Oh
around.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
the
hear.
bamboo is very easy to take care of.
Okay, yeah, that's what I hear. I hear bamboo's pretty hardy.
Yeah, which is good for me. I just, yeah, so bad at taking care of plants.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's it's hard to remember to water them unless they're very dramatic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I'm gonna go turn on a light. The sun has set and I'm getting dark.
Okay.
I also want to give a shout out while we're here to a local Pacific Northwest artist called Gifts for Everyone. And they make little plant dioramas.
Aw.
oh,
So you can decorate your plants.
Aw.
And so
oh,
I've got dinosaurs and another little dinosaur.
Oh my gosh.
And they've gotten moved around recently, but I usually keep them in my Chinese evergreen because that's funny for me because it looks like prehistoric plant.
Yeah. I that's delightful. I want to get dinosaurs for my plants. I'd probably remember to water them more.
yeah.
Uh,
And yeah, so they're super fun.
and that was what was that called? Pacific Northwest
Gifts
Gifts.
for everyone.
Gifts for everyone. Okay, I'm gonna check that
If
out
you
for
look
sure.
up like plant diorama Northwest, they also go to Urban Craft Uprising every year.
Oh,
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
So this is how my little plant dinosaurs look. Rawr.
Oh,
That's so cute. I
that's
love that.
hysterical.
Uh,
Whew. How many plants do you think you have, Julie? Like indoor plants?
Can I count all of my baby succulents as one?
Yes.
Okay, good. Um, I count all the baby succulents as one. I have 15.
oh, okay.
Huh. Okay, okay.
The baby succulents themselves are probably like, I have a whole big plate of succulents that are all about this size.
Mm.
Oh, so
Um,
small.
yeah, they're
So
very
baby.
tiny.
Yeah.
This is an echeveria. And I've also got a baby aloe that a friend of mine killed and I propagated.
Oh, wait.
And
Ooh.
yeah, I've got a bunch of baby succulents, and it's like 10 of them, and they're all on a little plate. And so if I get to count the succulents as one, I have 15. If I don't get to count them as one, it's like 20 something.
It's a good number of plants.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Do some of them have like air purifying qualities too?
Some of them do. They did a test on one of the space stations, and they found that like snake plants and such are good at air purifying, but you need like so many of them to make a difference that like your house would just be made out of plants in order to have a noticeable difference. Because one plant can only do so much.
Yeah.
So they do have air purifying qualities. Oh yeah, no, that's about how often you want to be watering your succulents, Alyssa. Alyssa says she waters them at the start of the month, like I'm paying them rent.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
that's a good reminder, or like that's a good method.
It is a good method. And succulents are desert plants, and so what they do is their roots grow very deep, and you're basically imitating like a rare rainstorm in the desert. So you want to water them infrequently, but like thoroughly.
Oh, so you want to like soak them completely, the soil?
Yeah, you want the soil to be really saturated, but not like super, like you want the soil to be like, so for succulents, you need to have a really well-draining soil. It's called cactus soil. And you want it to like the water to go out. You don't want it to be like standing water in the soil, but you want it to be like water all the way down in the soil.
Okay. Well, I've
like
definitely been watering my succulents incorrectly.
Yeah, I think I water them a little too frequently.
I water them like probably once a week, but I don't give them very much water. So basically the exact opposite of what you just described.
Yeah. Same here.
Alyssa's saying I water them under the sink and then make sure they drain. And yeah, that's a good way to do it because you want that like infrequent like of rain.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. So should you always get... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, unless you got string of pearls, and then you don't want the water on the pearls, so you stop.
Okay. So should you always get pots that have the drainage hole?
Yes. So actually this is... Okay, so we'll use Scotty as my example. So the plastic pot that Scotty is in is called a nursery pot. And as you can see, oh, you're getting good roots, dude. Ah, baby. It's always touch and go with this guy because I basically murdered him during grad school. I'm so sorry. So yeah, let's pull out Scotty. So this plastic pot is called a nursery pot. And it's got the drainage. You can see I don't know if you can see it on camera, but basically I can tell Scotty's growing really good because he's got roots coming out the bottom. You can kind of see that right there.
Oh,
which means that he's growing deeply and like taking up space. I like the plastic pots that are clear because you can see if your water is still damp, if your plant is damp.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
And there's something called the saturation line, which is like where your water like stays. So with a plant that's like Scotty, you want like a nice like mid-saturation line. With some other plants, you want maybe a lower saturation line because they don't like it when their feet get wet. And then this pot, like the nice pretty pot with the flowers on it, because I love you, Scotty, please don't die. I'm so sorry I killed you. That's called a cash pot. So you've got your nursery pot and your cash pot. Your nursery pot should always have drainage. Your cash pot doesn't need it. But whenever you water, if you water like into the, like pour water on top of it, at the end of it, take out it out of your cash pot and then like dump the water that's left. Or terracotta pots have the drainage at the bottom and then you have a little plate underneath. But wherever your dirt is needs to drain. Some people will tell you can take river pebbles and put it at the bottom and then the water will go into the river pebble and then everything will be fine. And that does not work.
Okay.
Does not work.
I feel like I'm just like, I need to redo everything with all my plants.
Yeah, we need to.
The purple, the one that I showed you before that I was like, I don't know what this one is. Someone told me to do the river rocks at the bottom thing to keep them from sitting in the water instead of getting an actually draining pot. And I didn't have river water, so I used Legos, like knockoff Legos.
Yeah, no, dude. No. Pull it out. Put it in a nursery pot.
It's no wonder the other 3 plants that were in there have died.
Yeah. So the thing is, when I say it doesn't work, it might work in some cases sometimes. Like, I don't want to be like everyone who's ever told you that has been lying. It's just like it works so infrequently. And a lot of times to do that, what you're actually doing is raising your saturation point. And so it's like the water around the roots is going to stay really wet, but like maybe the rest of the soil's dry. So your plant's like, I don't know, am I watered? Am I not? What if I just die?
What if I just... So dramatic.
Oh my God, they are. Right? I once saw this meme that was like, plants teach us how we're all secretly plants, and then it was like showed a dying plant. It was like, I express my needs in the language that is most comfortable to me, and I was like, I drank too much water, so all my limbs fell off and I died. Yeah. Alyssa says, use your Legos to build stuff.
not for your plants. Moral of the story.
Build stuff. Latina Geek, you can be good at growing plants. You just have to find the plant that is good for you.
I believe in you.
Yes. We believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah, we've learned that there are plants for everyone at all levels.
That's right.
There are plants for everyone. If you, there is Apartment Therapy, which is not a great website. But they do have a lot of like listicles about houseplants and the different conditions of houseplants, and they've got a listicle for every type of indoor growing situation. They've got a listicle for like low light needs, a listicle for I murder plants.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's me.
I don't have a whole lot of space, like. Love Apartment Therapy's plant listicles. They're great for plant shopping. Whenever you run into trouble, Epic Gardening is a great way to figure out how to troubleshoot your plant. And also there is Swanson's has a Facebook group that's like indoor plant parents.
Oh.
And they're very good for troubleshooting. They're helping me hopefully bring back my jade, but I don't think my jade's coming back.
Oh.
But I'm not too worried about it. It just happened. So yeah.
Okay,
you can do it. Everyone can be good at plants if they want to. If you don't want to, that's fine.
That's why they have fake plants.
Mm-hmm. That's why they have fake plants. That's why everyone's got a thing that they enjoy. Mine just happens to be plants. Because plants are...
Oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
I think I'm good to go on my plant pot.
I think
I'm my
good
painted
too.
pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh, yay.
Yay. We got like flowers on one side, and we got leaves on the other. Yeah, thank you, stencils.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all's are so pretty.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I was pretty sure that whatever I ended up making, I probably would just like, put outside for the rain to claim. But actually, I'm pretty proud of this. I might put this on display somewhere.
If I can get the top off, or the bottom that's stuck in the top off or out, then we'll definitely be using this.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah. Now I have to decide out of all the plants we talked about today, what should go in this pot.
Right?
Mhm.
I have
Yeah.
so many options, it sounds like.
You do have so many options. It's so
Oh.
exciting.
Prime, I just saw your plant, actually, or sorry, your pot on
Oh, yeah.
stream.
I know.
Sorry, because it's still a tiny bit behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it looks great.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. And you didn't even have to use stencils.
Don't
It's
look
like, I
too
need
close.
some sort of guidance. Yeah.
Alyssa, when you pull your plant out of the pot that has the Legos in the bottom, I am dying to see a photo of the roots. I want to see its roots.
I'm scared, but I will do like a deplant, like an unboxing for plants.
Oh.
Yes. And if you find any roots, the thing that I have learned after experiencing root rot in a couple of plants is it's better to take off roots just in case they're rotted rather than leave them on because you're worried you're taking off too many roots.
Okay.
If it's even suspected, just get your gardening shears.
Well, so actually, question. So that used to have 2 other plants in it, and I haven't repotted it ever. So I'm guessing that the roots from those old plants are still in there mostly. Should I try
Yes.
to kind of pull those out and separate them?
Yeah, there's probably still dead plant matter in there. That's not a super bad thing.
Okay.
Because they're decomposing and turning into nutrients and getting your soil nutrientized. The only thing you really have to worry about there is decomposing plant matter is very wet. And it's also got some bacteria and stuff growing. And so depending on when it decomposed, you might be at risk for a fungus.
Oh, okay.
Sounds bad.
Yeah.
Fungus will, like, whereas the powdery mildew is harmless, fungus will like straight up murder your plant. So I would pot that and like check it out and see what's going on, and also send Julie pictures of the roots because she's dying.
Will do.
Dying.
That'll be our next stream. Just like, what
Yeah.
the heck is going on with Prime's plants?
Yeah.
I almost saved one of my jades so I could unpot it one stream and be like, if your plant looks like this, it's dying.
Yeah.
Don't do this to your plant. All that brown root, just cut it off. And now I'm going to sit here and cut off roots. But then Mikey told me I wasn't allowed to play in dirt in the living.
Fair. Fair. I know I thought about getting some soil and stuff in here, but I'm like, that's going to be a mess that I don't want to clean up.
Yeah. I was like, I want to play with dirt in the living room. And he's like, no, dirt goes outside. And I was like, says who?
Yeah.
And he's like, the person who runs the vacuum cleaner says. And I was like, that's totally fair. That's fair. I want to go on the plant field trip. Let me know.
Fun.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah.
We have a stream on Thursday at 7 with, I think it's Terran and 2.0, and they're playing Common Hood, which I can't remember what that game is about.
Yeah,
But
I think it's like a community building, like everything this month focuses on the environment, and so I think you like are part of this like like almost like a commune. You're building up your little society and like trying to be really conscious about the environment and stuff. It looks really cool. I think it's gonna be fun. Also, since we're talking about plants in this one, I think everyone here would be interested in our stream on next Tuesday, a week from today, which is our sustainable foraging. We're going to have a guest host, Natalie Hammerquist, is going to be talking about how you can like go into the forest and forage food and how to do that sustainably so that you're not causing damage to the environment. It's going to be really cool. I'm excited.
I'm pretty stoked for that one.
Let me go ahead and get a raid started, shall we?
Yay! Yay!
Let's see who's online today. We've got a couple of different options. Oh, let's do Ruxel. She's playing golf with your friends.
Oh, we played that.
Yeah. It's a fun one.
Yeah. It's outdoors, grass. I think it fits the theme.
I think so too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, Julie, for teaching us so much stuff. I feel like I've already leveled up at least 1 or 2 levels with indoor planting.
Yeah. I'm so glad y'all let me come and talk about plants because I only have one plant friend, and we talk about plants all the time, but I need more plant friends.
More plant
Yeah,
friends.
and then field trip.
Yes, yay!
Yay.
All
Thanks
right.
for joining, everyone.
Thanks for joining. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.